This for my baby. Gxlden.Chvld.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, the Golden Child, and we're back with part 2 of our roommate series. Well, my roommate series. So this video is my roommates hated my boyfriend. And yeah, my boyfriend Gavin. You guys see him in my videos. He looks like the most likable guy ever because he is the most likable guy ever. So I don't know why my roommates hated him so much. If anything, they should have hated me. But we're gonna get into that. Now, in my last video, I talked about my first roommate, D. I'm not gonna do anything with names again, so I'm just gonna do 2 different letters. This video is about 2 roommates. Again, I lived in a quad, so that was one roommate I addressed in my previous video, and now these are the other 2 roommates that I lived in the quad with. These 2 were like best friends. They were best friends before they got to school here, and they didn't really talk to me and the other girl that much, but this is kind of a part of the interactions we did have, but I'll just tell you guys about them. So we're gonna call this next roommate A. I don't know, we're just doing letters. But A didn't really talk to me at all. Like the other one, I'll admit, we were like friends in the beginning. She introduced herself and everything, and it was nice for like the first few days, but A didn't really talk at all. Like she came the day after we all moved in, because these 2 best friends, they were here the whole summer and everything, and when it was time to move into the fall dorms, they were already there. But she wasn't there the first day that I moved in. I met B. B is the one that I was friends with. But A, she came after me and D, the roommate in the previous video, had moved in. Hopefully you guys are following this. A had come back the day after D and I had moved in, and she didn't say anything to us. Like, B, of course, gave an introduction, talked to us, tried to make conversation, but A didn't say anything, didn't introduce herself, like, hey, my name is A, make conversation, nothing. It was like we weren't even there. She just talked to her friend and didn't really talk to us at all. So that started us off on a bad foot. I mean, honestly, she didn't really, do anything to me or my boyfriend. Actually, no. She had apparently felt uncomfortable by Gavin or something, but I think it was B that was mostly the aggressor in the situation. And A, I suppose we were decent. If I needed something, I would speak to her, and vice versa, but we barely spoke to each other. And I guess I wasn't mad at it because she wasn't really bothering me. But, it just would have been nice to have roommates that you could talk to. But of course, B kind of had more problems with me, and A and B are best friends, so it wouldn't have worked out anyways, us trying to be friends. But she was alright. And now let's get to B. B was a problem. So, yeah, we were friends when I first moved in. When I first moved in, she was the only one inside the room. So of course I'm like, oh, my new roommate, we're talking, we're vibing, everything's cool or whatever. And then once A, her best friend, comes back, it's like me and D, again, the girl in the previous video, it's like me and D didn't even exist. Yeah, that was pretty annoying. And then where my boyfriend comes into play is, okay, well, no, first of all, because A and B weren't really talking to me and D, they're there was pretty much no communication there at all. I don't like to bother people, and if people don't want to talk to me, I'm not going to talk to them. So it was just it was me and D, and then A and B just existing inside the room. And yeah, A and B talked to each other, and I talked to D whenever I did talk to her when we were still talking. But that was just how it was, a big room, 4 people, not that much communication going on. And it was cool, I was staying out of their way, they were staying out of my way for the most part. But Gavin being around became an issue, and of course it wasn't really Gavin himself, but okay. So Gavin would come to visit me, it's only a train ride away, but obviously the train only operates for so long. It was easier for him to sleep over when he did come over, and of course I wanted him to sleep over because I wanted to have him around as long as I could. But of course I'm a college student and I go to class, so it'd be times where I would leave him inside the room and he would just sleep in bed or something. Now of course it might have been nice if I told my roommates that I was doing that, but we weren't really communicating. And it's my room too, so I was like, I don't have to tell you that he's sleeping over. I don't have to tell you like that, because we were communicating anyways. So maybe that was bad on my part, but it's like, if we're not talking, I'm not gonna just randomly talk to you to like update you on what I'm doing. If what I'm doing does not affect you, then I don't need to update you. Like, it'd be one thing if like I had to like do some super loud shit at like 2 in the morning. That'd be nice to like tell them. But Gavin being in the room, not doing anything, not bothering them, not being loud, just existing, being in my bed, shouldn't bother them. Actually, I'm gonna admit, sometimes Gavin would like watch videos or be on the phone. No, sometimes Gavin would like be on the phone and talking, but he's not a loud talker, so he wouldn't really disturb them. Just his presence apparently bothered A and B so much. And it's like, I know it's not because he's a guy, because A and B both had boyfriends, and B, the one who was more troublesome, had her boyfriend around like all the time. So I didn't know what her issue was. If I had to go to class and wanted to leave him inside the room so he's comfortable, I was gonna do that. Like, sometimes he'd have to wake up like super early at like maybe 8 a.m. and then like come take the train to come see me, or just he'd be tired because he has a job. Like, why can't he just sleep in my bed? And I had come to realize that it was against the rules to do that. But the thing is about the rules is B and all of her friends would smoke inside the room, and that's against the rules. So B went and got an RA to kick my boyfriend out of the room because I wasn't there. But the whole time they smoke inside the room all the time. So I'm breaking a rule, but they're breaking a larger rule, because like smoking at my school is like the number one no-no. Like, smoking like inside the dorms, that was the number one no-no. So of course I'm not supposed to have my boyfriend inside the room and I'm not there. But it's like, okay, it's not a big deal, the RA just make him leave. But if you're caught smoking, like, it was really, really bad. And yeah, I didn't like them messing with my boyfriend, so I took matters into my own hands. I made sure I waited till they were like smoking one day, her and all her friends inside the room. And oh yeah, also another thing too, they didn't ask me if they could smoke inside the room, and I didn't like it. Like, I never said anything about them smoking, because I'm like, okay, they don't do it all day, and they're doing it with the window open. Not gonna say anything, because again, like, we were staying out of each other's way. But then as soon as they like started coming for my boyfriend, like, it became an issue, because you're not gonna break the rules and then tell me I can't break the rules. And I don't like people messing with Gavin anyways. So yeah, I waited until they were smoking inside the room, and then I went and got one of the like security people out front, and then they all got caught smoking. Like, of course they stopped when they heard a knock on the door, but the people like smelled the smoke in there, and they ended up having to like go to like some like school, my school has some type of like court thing. They had to go to like a hearing or something like that, and they all got in big trouble. And I did not give one damn, because I don't like when people mess with my boyfriend. And that just kind of like was what it was. But to be totally honest, I did have some fault in certain situations. Like, for example, being that I was not communicating with them that much. Like, there would be times like me and Gavin would be like doing stuff. I guess like, you guys know what I mean by like doing stuff. And we try to keep it like discreet, because there were like other people inside the room, and we didn't want to like ask them to leave, or like, because I wasn't talking to them, so I'm not gonna ask them to leave so I can like do whatever I want to do. I'm just gonna do what I want because it's my room too. But we were like discreet about it, but it was still like a big thing. But I feel like I was still wrong for that. But however, but still, I feel like the issues that B gave me trumped the issues that I gave her. I don't know, maybe it's arguable. Another situation I had with B, again, like, A isn't really a big part of this, because A was kind of a neutral party. Maybe she shared the same feelings as B, but B was like very like vocal about it. But there was plenty of issues I had with B. Another thing was, I'd be using my desk light, like, the lights go off at a certain time inside the room. Like, I think it was like 11 was the time we turned off like the big overhead light inside the room. But the desk lights, you can keep your desk light on if you want, because it's your desk. And the way my desk was, it was like my desk light was kind of shining at her in her bed. However, it wasn't too big of a deal to me, because she could have just turned around. Like, her bed is facing this way, the light's shining this way, but it's like the desk is a little more back here and her bed is a little more over here. So if she just turns her head, the light isn't gonna bother her. But she just made like a big fuss about it, and I didn't really care because it's my desk light, and whether I had it on to like FaceTime Gavin or like whatever I was doing with it, it's my desk light and I can keep it on. If you don't like it, you can fix it. And she did like put like a sheet over like the part of her bed that like would have gotten the light, and like power to her, because I was gonna keep turning off my light when I wanted to have it on. But it was just small things as that. Like it was so many like little issues, well, big issues, but like just so many things. Another thing was in a quad you're only allowed to have one mini fridge, which is crazy because that's 4 people and we need more than one fridge. And people in singles, doubles, and triples only get one fridge. And I'm just like, it doesn't make sense because we're 4 people. We need more fridge space. But that's another story. That's not what this is about. So, D, girl in the previous video, had brought a fridge when she moved in. And I didn't have my fridge that day because I didn't know if my other roommates were going to have a fridge. So I didn't want to move in and then like all 4 of us have fridges, and that's just, my mom would have to bring it back and it was just a hassle. So I didn't bring it. But I saw that there was only one fridge, and then I asked B because B had been there the whole summer. So I was asking her, and she was like, oh yeah, it should be fine for us to have 2 fridges. And then yeah, I think a couple of days later, I had brought my fridge, and we had 2 fridges inside the room. But the way the room was like set up, like I wish I could like diagram it for you guys because I'm lazy. But it was like A and B's beds were on one side of the room, and me and D's beds were on the other side of the room. And the way the plugs were arranged inside the room, both fridges had to be on A and B's side. So when me and B started having issues, something else she had done was get my fridge removed because she kept asking me to like move my fridge or like do something about it, anything. I forgot why it was bothering her. I think it was cause yeah, it was on her side and like it was taking up space or like something like that. But I feel like she was just being petty because we had issues. But yeah, my fridge was on her side, and then she just wanted it gone, and da da da. And she was like, "Oh, we were only supposed to have one fridge." But again, in the beginning of the school year, she was like, "Oh, it should be fine for staff to da da da." So she just wanted the fridge gone because we were having issues, and she wanted to be petty. Again, that's her prerogative. But my fridge ended up having to be removed because yeah, it was against the rules for us to have 2 fridges inside the room. But no one would have said anything. No one would have known about it if she didn't say anything because she was being petty. So that happened, and that was again another result of me getting them caught smoking because I was tired of her like trying to pick on me and bother me because I literally wouldn't speak to her. It would be mostly her speaking to me because it's like, if it's not a life or death situation, if I really don't need to speak to you, I'm not going to speak to you if I don't like you. And something someone could say is that like moving out was an option, but it was like I really liked my hall, I really liked where my room was, I really liked the quad, I just really liked everything except the people I was living with. Like my room was perfect, everything was perfect, so I was waiting for them to move out, which they did. Like D had left the school, but A and B eventually moved out. Like after the first semester, they were gone, and I had the room to myself. It was amazing until I got my last roommate, the roommate we're gonna talk about in the last video, who is a character. But yeah, after the first semester, they were gone. I had the room all to myself, a 4-person room, even though it was for a short amount of time. But I didn't have to deal with them anymore. And yeah, I don't like people messing with Gavin at all. And even though it wasn't just Gavin, Gavin wasn't the only issue. The situation with Gavin was the thing that like set me off because he's my best friend. That's my person. That's my person right there. And I don't like people messing with him. And he didn't say or do anything to them either. Like he would just cooperate. Like when they wanted him to leave, he would just leave. They didn't always call the RA if he noticed he was making them uncomfortable or they were unhappy. He'd just go because he didn't want to cause any problems. And if I hadn't have said anything, he would have just like let them keep pushing him. But I pushed back because no, honey, you're not gonna mess with my man. So that just kind of was what it was. Yeah, I still would see them around campus. I'm still gonna probably see them around campus, and it's low-key awkward, but at least we don't have to live in the same room together anymore. And yeah, that's the story of my roommates hating my boyfriend. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can become one of my golden stars. And tune in for my last video. To mouth. What am I going to title this video again? My pregnant racist roommate tried to fight me. Yeah, tune into that video because that's going to be something. But again, thank you guys for watching and peace out.